What's up, y'all? David here, gonna show you the entire straight knife collection as quickly as possible. We're gonna go from the cheapest knife down here to the most expensive knife down there, and let's just jump right into it. First, $5 Harbor Freight. They call it a survival knife. You probably wouldn't survive with it though. It's so cheap, it doesn't even talk about what type of steel, it doesn't even say where it's made, none of that stuff. This is bolted in. I'm assuming the blade stops right here and that is just a bolt to hold it in. I'm guessing those are lanyard holes. It's got a little compartment and handle with a little baggie in there. For the sake of time, I'm not going to mess with it, but there's matches and fishing line and a fish hook, a little sewing kit and needle, that sort of a thing. Anyway, $5. You could probably break it in an instant if you decided to hit something with it. Hey, why don't we try that out sometime? I'm going to get started on damage test videos pretty soon, but for now, this is just a collection video. So, this is the $5 piece of junk impulse buy right by the register at Harbor Freight. There's that. Here, MTech dagger, 5-inch. This came in a set of 2 of them. Looks like a MT-20-03. So, just a simple full tang dagger. It's roughly made. They're cheap. They're $13 each. Little lanyard hole, wood scales. The scales don't line up exactly with the tang, and it doesn't line up exactly with the hilt. There's a lot of little imperfections in the manufacturing of these, and it came pretty darn dull. It is not particularly sharp. Pretty sure you can still poke it into just about anything, but you know, it's just a $13 little dagger. I did a lot of throwing these into, you know, cardboard boxes and stuff like that just for fun, and that's really why I got them. I just thought they would be fun to throw and goof around with. So, $13 MTech 5-inch dagger. Next, Cold Steel Canadian Beltknife. The entire sheath is plastic. The knife itself is of a strange looking shape. I've actually never had one that looked like this, and I don't understand the shape exactly. I think that you can use this for your thumb if you're doing carving. It looks like a skinning knife. To me, I think it's like a skinning knife of some kind. Now, Cold Steel always makes good stuff. There's actually oil in this blade because I never did bother to wipe that off. No reason to. The oil helps preserve the blade, clearly. Cold Steel 4116 stainless Taiwan. So, just a freebie from Cold Steel. And when I say freebie, I mean when you order something bigger like this hand and a half dagger, sometimes they'll throw in a couple extra little freebies. So, Cold Steel Canadian Beltknife, probably worth, you know, $17 or something like that. Next, I found these at Academy. This is just a set of 3 little throwing knives. Nothing special here, just your standard piece of metal that's shaped like a knife so you can throw it into a tree. The company is called Tactical Performance. I think they were just under, you know, $20 at Academy or whatever for the whole set. These might be slightly out of order, and the reason for that is that the next knife, this MTech, was only $15. Hey, let's add the tax in there and call it like, you know, $16.70. I don't know. Anyway, cheap nylon sheath like most of them. Coated black. Obviously, you want this sort of a thing in cases where you want your knife to not rust or tarnish, so it keeps the metal from rusting. But I don't know. I've always been more of a fan of the, you know, stainless steel look, the clean metal look instead of the coated black, but everyone has their own preference. Anyway, this was only, you know, $14.99. It's got a little lanyard hole. This entire handle is very rubberized, so it's really hard to lose your grip on it. It's actually a very, very good ergonomics. You've got these finger grooves that make it to where it would be really tough to lose your grip on that knife. Anyway, that's a pretty cool Bowie from MTech. Oh, let's see what the actual model is. I sometimes forget. M2096 stainless steel. I think, yeah, stainless steel USA design. So it's stainless steel underneath there. Anyway, MTech, $15 thing. Found that at Army Navy store. This one found at Walmart. This is an old timer. This came in a set. There's a little $5 old timer folder with a camo finish on it. So the set of both knives was $20, so I'm gonna assume that this knife was probably about $15 of that. So this Bowie is a cool shape. I'm assuming it's stainless steel. It is probably stainless. Full tang, as you can see. This actually does line up, so it's not annoying on your hand like this little guy. Little lanyard hole there. The scales are kind of, I don't know, they're plastic, you know, cheap plastic. I'm not usually a fan of the brass-colored hilts and whatever those are. I usually don't like that color, but for such a cheap knife and for a decent size blade, it was actually pretty cool. I think it's like a 10-inch, roughly 10-inch blade. I have chopped down little trees with this guy. I've beaten it against a lot of different things. I've even used it to cut chopped food or whatever, you know. It's a decent little Bowie for the $15 price tag. So, found that one at Walmart. Moving on. It says Shrade on the blade, which I think means that Old Timer put the whole knife together, but the blade maker was probably Shrade. Okay, next, Elk Ridge. This is where, from here on, I admire these knives. These are cool. This is an Elk Ridge dagger. Double-edged blade. I really enjoy double-edged blades. This one is about 8 inches on the blade length. The handle is, it's either real wood or faux wood, and if it's faux wood, it's good faux wood, because you can't tell. I really do feel like it's wood, but I'm not sure. You know, it may not be. Anyway, model ER105, stainless steel, custom design, China, Elk Ridge. These little brads or whatever they are kind of stick out a little bit, and you know, that kind of helps you get a good grip on it. It does actually help it not to be too slick. But this one was about $20, ordered online. Cheap little nylon sheath. But yeah, cool dagger. I enjoy this dagger. Moving right along. This was a birthday gift from my wife. My wife went to Walmart and spent some time staring at that knife cabinet and finally picked. She did a good job. She picked the Buck 119. She knew that I would like this knife. She knew that I like black and chrome stainless colors over the brass colors or gold or whatever. These are aluminum. The hilt and the pommel are aluminum, I'm pretty sure. This is that tough type of plastic. I think maybe it's polypropylene or something similar. This says Buck 119 USA, so I'm assuming that means this is made in the USA. This may actually be the only knife in this straight knife collection that is made in the USA. But these things are extraordinarily tough knives. I have seen torture tests online in which they beat these against rocks and, you know, cut all kinds of materials with them, and they really hold an edge, and they are hard to break. So that's a really cool knife. It's about 6 inches long on the blade, probably 10 or so total length, and that may be my favorite knife. My wife did a good job picking out the Buck 119 for her crazy blade obsessed husband. So next, Honshu Boshin Toothpick. This is a big old boy right here, but despite its largeness, this is a lightweight blade for the size, if you ask me. Now, I have not felt the other Boshins. I don't know if they are of a similar weight. I intend to find out later. Don't tell my wife, but I intend to find out later. Anyway, she's probably right around here somewhere. Okay, so this has a lot of blade length right here. This is like a full foot of blade, and actually most of it is blade. There's a little dull area here if you had some weird reason to want to put your finger there to control the blade a little more, but I don't do that. It is a tough blade, and I believe it is carbon steel. It's that 7CR13, yeah, 7CR13 stainless steel. Oh, I just said carbon steel, didn't I? My bad. This is 7CR13 stainless steel. But yeah, a really good blade for the price. This was about $60. Oh, I forgot. This one was about $57 at Walmart. I ordered this one online from United Cutlery, and still a good price for the knife, in my opinion. I've chopped down various shrubbery with it. I've chopped my way through some really thick Texas thorns and all kinds of things like that, and it left absolutely no rolls or dulling on the blade. It's a very hard blade, and proud of this one. Very nice. The sheath, I have one complaint, and in fact I accidentally just did it, which proves the point. When I go to put it in, I accidentally cut this little piece of leather sometimes, unless I really go out of my way to hold that leather out of the way like this. So a little bit annoying to put in there if you don't want to cut your sheath up, but you know, minor issues. The handle's rubberized. These little screws are actually glued in with Loctite or something like that. Got a little lanyard hole, good ergonomics here, good abrasive ridges here to give you good grip. So that's the Honshu Boshin Toothpick. I haven't actually seen any online reviews or damage tests of this knife, so I hope to possibly be the first one to do a torture test on this Honshu Boshin Toothpick. We'll see. And finally, we have the Cold Steel Hand and a Half Dagger. I threw a sword frog or a frog loop, whatever you want to call this, on there just so you can wear it in your belt. This is a really cool, really nicely made dagger. I've got it oiled because this is carbon steel, as most of your swords and decent sized daggers from Cold Steel are going to be carbon steel. And that means that they are really hard and they're really old and edged for a long time, but they will rust. So you want them oiled. You know, when you put them in storage, you want to oil it, and that'll keep the rust off if you do it right. And this is a really nice dagger. It actually has a little bit of flex to it, which is the case with most carbon steel blades. You want them to flex a little bit because the stainless is harder and more brittle, but typical. It's used for shorter blades because less likely to actually get the kind of forces on there that will break it. But for longer blades, like the hand and a half sword, which I also have, and this hand and a half dagger, carbon steel is the way to go. This is really nice. There's only a couple of little things. The leather kind of poked out right here, but let's not be too picky. The pommel is steel and really nice, and the whole thing's really tight, no rattling, nothing. I've actually thrown this across the yard and had it skitter across the asphalt before, and basically didn't have any damage. A couple of little scratches, but nothing major. I do highly recommend these medieval style daggers and swords from Cold Steel. They are a lot of fun, and they are of very high quality. So that is the whole straight knife collection for now. We've been shut in for the coronavirus, and that's kind of why I'm just chilling making a knife video. Hope you've enjoyed the information and having a look at these knives, and join us next time. Thanks.